Well, first off, I guess your initial impressions of all three. First off.
Yeah, thrilled. I mean, this is the end of a long process for the entire organization, scouting department, coaching, performance team. Everybody has played a huge role. So then you get to a night like tonight, you never know quite how it's going to pan out. So, you look back, it's still pretty raw, and we're still going to sort of dissect everything that happened. But we're thrilled with these young men that we get to add to our Nets family is just terrific. So the upside of all of them, I mean, a couple of these guys are 18 years old, so just thrilled to see where's this guy going to be in 2 years, where's he going to be in 3 years, where's he going to be in 5 years. So loved what we saw scouting him. Analytically they all looked great. So we're thrilled. I mean, I enjoyed watching Noah play. I love the intangibles. I love how hard he competes. I love the length that he has. When you have a 7'3" wingspan, I can't teach that. Our coaches can teach a lot of things, but they can't teach that. I love the fact that he doesn't shy away from shooting from the outside. He's very versatile, can play a couple different positions out there. So again, you get a young man in here who's 18 years old. I've never limited anybody and said what they can do and can't do. This is one of these things like you get them in here and you get the development coaches and coaching staff to have at it, which is terrific. So Dariq is a young man that we've been following for a long time. Unfortunately, his time at Duke was slightly cut short and maybe didn't play, what he would have expected to play. But, when you have, a young man like that come in with such high expectations and still be able to produce at a level that you say, look, there's something special in there. But for him, I think he was second in his class, coming out. We're super excited to add that. A terrific young person. The interview was great. He's about all the right things. I mean, this is, we've talked about culture over the years, and so to add young men like this with the existing group that we have and to watch them and see them develop. Jalen, he's a champion. He's won before, so he's seen what it takes. Being coached really hard, being coached well. So to bring him into a program like this, again, we're all going to be better because these three young men are part of us.
When you see, this is twofold. I mean, when people look from the outside in and they see, Dariq's foot, and then you're looking at Clowney's, length and switchability, some people will look and they see Karis LeVert and Nick Claxton, kind of coming back and doing the same things again. Did you look at this as, these guys are both young, I think 18.
Yeah.
Do you look at this as, hey, this is just best available? Or when you're drafting guys that young, is that kind of the Nets going back to their developmental roots rather than drafting more of like a ready-made 21, 22-year-old guy?
I'm not sure there's too many guys that you're picking in any draft that are ready-made and done. So I think we don't like. I wouldn't want to compare. It's human nature, right, to compare one of these guys to somebody maybe we've had in the past or seen in the past and so forth. But wouldn't want to limit them. But I think there's obviously some similarities with lengths and size and upside. You mentioned Dariq with the foot and Karis. Knowing what we know. And having gone through this, not the same injury, but a similar injury with Karis LeVert, and our performance team has done a heck of a job. So they know what they're in for here with him. And, again, to have a guy like where we're picking and to have him there where we had him much, much higher, we're thrilled to add these gentlemen.
How close did you guys come to maybe striking a deal or trying to even maybe consider what the possibilities would be to either move up or maybe even package to get another guy in?
There's a lot of conversations had at the draft. It's you go in, you role play it, you think you know what's going to come your way, and then there's always a couple of things that maybe surprise you a little bit, and you're prepared for it. The way we collaborate in there, it's certainly not one or two people. It's an entire coaching staff, front office, performance, and our scouts. All our scouts are here, so I got to give them a lot of credit. So it's a great way for us to disagree and commit and come out on the other side and say, look, this was an opportunity for us to move up or move back or move back in or whatever it may be. But, we didn't see the need to do that, and as the draft unfolded, I think we're very, very happy with how it played out for the Brooklyn Nets.
With Dariq, what exactly can you tell us about his procedure? Obviously, he had a second procedure, but just what did you guys know about it? How did you guys evaluate it? And just kind of, going forward, I heard he'll be available during training camps. I mean, he's probably not going to play in summer league. Has that been determined yet?
Yeah, I think you do your due diligence with all these young men, and you get them the medical, and Marty O'Malley did his surgery. This is the second break. The first one did not heal, so properly. Probably came back too soon, and lessons learned. For him, but at the same time, this is we feel very comfortable. With Dariq and with his foot, and also just the people we can surround him with here, and work on other facets of his game. He's certainly not going to play in summer league, so the goal will be, as always with all these young men, is to bring them along slowly. But again, sometimes these guys surprise you. I mean, you look back and the guys we've drafted in the past, you think, all right, this guy's going to maybe play in the G League, or this guy's going to play limited minutes, and next thing you know, they're really contributing for us. So I'm never going to limit them.
Whenever a team uses both first-round picks, there's always questions about timeline, right? Especially you guys haven't made the playoffs and whatnot. Just has the timeline shifted? Are you still expecting to be a competitive playoff team, or folding these rookies? And obviously, there's going to be a learning curve. What do you see in terms of the timeline?
Yeah, I think adding these young men, these rookies, they all have a chip on their shoulder. I wish I could honestly share the interviews we had with these guys. I think that the public would be pretty impressed with how they were raised and who they are. And that gives me great confidence when you bring somebody in like that is about the right things, and carries this chip on their shoulder. I think that's really important. That what motivates them. These are some of the questions we ask, and we get to know them. We obviously look forward to getting to know them more and more and more as it unfolds. But our timeline, we're going to compete. I mean, that's what we're here for. I'm not going to sit here and say, we're a contender overnight. But I mean, I think what we've shown the ability as an organization to pivot and compete potentially quicker than we probably were thought. So at the end of the day, I think with a new CBA, a new group, some really good returners here. Let's let these guys develop a new coaching staff. Let's let them put their fingerprints all over this group, and then see where it goes in the next couple months, then couple years, and go from there.
Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think early on in your net tenure, you were pretty aggressive with the restricted free agents signing guys to offer sheets. Now you're on the other side of it. Do you expect Cam to sign one, to have to deal with that June 30th, July 1st, whatever it might be?
I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. I think it's one of those things that maybe things, we should expect the unexpected. Things happen all the time in this. I mean, we'll be prepared for that. Cam knows how we feel about him. And, we hope he's a net. And so we'll just have to sort of play it all out. I think we've got a nice young group, and he can see how this group has a chance to do something special here and do something special in Brooklyn.
When drafting these players tonight, how are you expecting them to immediately project into the rotation as a G League guy, like you mentioned, or 2 first-round picks?
Yeah, I don't know that they're going to immediately get into the rotation and what that looks like, right? I couldn't tell you. Well, our expectations are to play 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 35 minutes. Who knows? I think we've seen it before. As I said that, I wouldn't want to limit them. These guys come in here and they surprise us, and then there'll be a couple of them playing in summer league, and then Dariq, as I said, he won't. We'll make sure we manage him and bring him along slowly and go from there. But whether it's playing minutes in the G League, whether it's playing minutes for us, I expect these guys to be real contributors for the Brooklyn Nets.
You talked about the timeline of the team moving somewhat, for obvious reasons. I think Dariq might be the youngest player that you guys have ever drafted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Aaron can correct me. But does, kind of going back to the earlier question, did the timeline changing kind of, for lack of a better term, allow you more freedom to draft guys that might be further away from that rotation area?
I don't know if the timeline really took a factor in it. We take best available. That's how we look at this. And I think more, I would say more so that we felt very comfortable with Dariq, the person he is, specifically Dariq, the person he is, and sort of like, we're comfortable with his injury. We're comfortable with bringing him back. And, if you could sort of rewind a year, I mean, there's a chance that he was probably a lottery pick. So, in order to get a guy like that fall to us, I mean, fantastic. We'll take it.
How often did you guys see him, even like as a high school player, and how important is that in your confidence in where he is now and his ability to come back from this injury?
Yeah, I think watching these guys, even, Dariq playing for Team USA, so when he plays, on that level and, whether it's McDonald's, you name it, seeing him play at that high school level, playing with his peers, that many of them, were lottery picks this year, and then you go see him at Duke and you watch how his game has had to change, over the course of time and so forth. So, it gives us confidence, and again, they're 18, right? So bring them in here, mold them, and when you've got a coaching staff out there that's that excited when you get two guys like that. I mean, I wish you guys could have seen the room. It's exciting to see. A group of, I don't know how many were there, 50 people thrilled, to take these young men and then to get their hands on them. So, right.
With Noah, just we talked a lot about Dariq. What exactly did you see with him? Because it seems like he's, again, another young player, great rebounder. Is that kind of something you see filling a need? And two, obviously, with, I believe, Kevin Ollie on staff, you mentioned this young development you got. Is it helpful having another coach with Jacques who can also has a track record for developing young players?
Well, I'll address that first. I think our coaching staff has shown over the years their ability to draft. The ability to develop, our draft guys. So the sweat equity that our coaching staff, puts out there, starting from the top all the way through, is second to none. So that's terrific, and that's exciting for me. When I watched Noah play this year several times, and I speak for the whole group that saw him. Loved his versatility, loved how hard he played. Again, on the defensive end, him being able to switch out, guard multiple positions, move his feet laterally. I don't think any of these guys quite know how good they could be yet, right? And I don't expect them to, right? It's going to be fun to get them in here, and until they get their first sniff of a real NBA game and the physicality and so forth, and they carry that chip with them, and then that's sort of, it's the light bulb goes off and goes, all right, well, this is what it takes to be a real NBA player. This is what it's going to take. I'm going to have to develop. It's going to take time, but I've got the right group around me to help me get there, and that's what we're committed to do for these three young men.
Kind of piggybacking on Noah, does volume of three-pointers attempted, I guess, factor in more than the actual clip that the player is converting at? Like, he's only shooting 28% from three, but he's attempting, 3.5 per game?
It does factor in, and you watch him shoot, and we have them. We have them here in our building, and we critique and evaluate their shots amongst many, many other things. But certainly, I love the confidence that these young guys have. And, you're talking Noah, he doesn't shy away from shooting it, right? That's what we want. Confidence is something that, some people are born with, some people it grows, and you hope a guy like Noah, his confidence just continues to grow and grow and grow. But he comes in with some confidence, which is great. So, cool.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you much.
Thanks, guys. All the best, guys. Thank you.